Okay, so Wuthering Waves version 2.4 is finally here, and well, I've managed to have a little bit of a playthrough of it and wanted to give my full kind of review and kind of thoughts on this update as a whole, because again, I played around about 4 to about 6 hours. I mean, that's quite a rough time frame, but I've played all of the story which has been going on in Wuthering Waves, and also, you know, got the new character and been exploring a lot of the new stuff that has been added to this update. And honestly, I think it's pretty good. Now, let's go through things separately, because what I want to start off with is the area itself. Now, I haven't been able to unlock all of the teleport points yet, but I've had a little bit of a look around, and I'm really liking the area of Septimont. It's massive, by the way. It's a really big area to explore. I mean, if we compare it to a place, for example, like the, you know, entirety of the Regana kind of area that we've had, it's very, very similar in terms of size, which I think is really great because it gives people a lot of things to do in terms of exploration, in terms of quests, and they've also set up a ton of events in terms of exploration as well, which I think is just very nice in general because it gives people something else to do other than the story, and it gives you the opportunity to have that kind of just run around the kind of area, and with the quality of life updates, it makes it so much better. I mean, if we didn't have gliding, or we didn't have like flying, or whatever you want to call it, in you know, this new area, it would be absolutely hell to get through. I feel like, you know, flying just makes exploration so much better in Wuthering Waves in general, and I hope they keep it for every other region that comes out. And it's really great in this region too. I mean, it's just so easy to be able to fly from one place to another and not worry about having to walk miles and miles and miles and go over really big obstacles, because this is this place is very like mountain, not mountainous, but like it's very hilly. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it's not exactly the flattest of areas. There's a lot of structures, there's a lot of different places that it's going to be very hard to get to if you don't have flying enabled. I mean, you know, just look at this wall. The sheer size of this map is absolutely incredible, which is one of the things that I really like about this. Like, for example, we've got the new Federation coming up. I don't know when it's supposed to come out, whether that's 3.0 or maybe even later than that, but that's supposed to be a city kind of area, so I'm very excited to see how they're going to do this, especially after seeing Septimont and the absolute size that they've made this. You guys can see exactly how big this is. There's even like mist and stuff kind of, you know, obscuring your vision, and, you know, just flying makes it so much easier. As you can see, you can get from one place to another extremely quickly, and obviously that's not everything as well. You know, this is just one little area of it in terms of the city. You've also got other places as well, for example, like the canyon, which is a little bit of a darker place and a little bit more of a different place. I'm sure we'll explore a little bit more of that in the story, because again, they didn't really go to an area like that. With the main places we went to is around like here-ish, and then we went up to the actual city in Septimont, I'm pretty sure. So again, you know, it's very interesting. But the story itself, you know, moving on to the story, it was very good. Obviously, it's split into 2 parts, so we still have the other part to come in a couple of days' time. I think it's like a couple of weeks or so. But again, I do think it's actually the right decision from Kuro Games to split the story up in 2. I know there's a lot of people not very happy at the fact that, you know, they split it up over time and that they're going to have to wait for the second part. But, you know, it took me around about 2.5 hours, I'd say, to do the story. So honestly, I was reaching about a breaking point there in terms of my stamina on doing the story. So honestly, I thought it was a perfect like, you know, a perfect length, and I think splitting it into 2 parts, into these kind of more digestible parts, it's actually much better, and it will, you know, it doesn't make me feel like I have to kind of panic and go through it all. I feel like, you know, with a lot of the stories, for example, like Honkai Star Rail, where the story is a little bit longer, whenever I used to play the Honkai Star Rail story, I used to be like almost like a race, you know. It felt like I was competing to get it done, and it felt like I was trying to get it done as quickly as possible, and, you know, as quickly as possible being like 6 hours, which was kind of crazy. Whereas this, I felt like, because it's 2.5 hours, I looked up the walkthrough time before I even played. You know, because it's 2.5 hours, I can take my time, I can actually enjoy the story, which actually, yeah, it did allow me to enjoy the story much better, and the story was great. You know, it's a good setup to the second part, and I'm excited to see what happens in the second part. But again, you know, it's a really, really good setup. I really like Lupa. Lupa is such an amazing character. I mean, bro, I'm so ready to pull on her whenever her banner comes out. But it's looking really, really good in terms of the story, in terms of the new characters, and just in terms of the setup of Septimont in general, which I'm very, very happy that, you know, that's happened. I mean, this has got to be one of the best updates we've had in a while, for Wuthering Waves in terms of story, and obviously new areas and new things being added to the game. So again, you know, very, very good. And obviously, speaking of new characters, we've got the new character Cartethyia, who is looking absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, she's great in the story as well, and does some amazing cutscenes and things involving her. But her character in game itself, I managed to get her, and I also managed to get her at S1 with the kind of coral shop thing. I had some spare coral, so I got her S1 as well. And also managed to get the sword, and she does a lot of damage. I mean, you know, there's a reason why she's at tier 0 at the moment over on Pridwin. Now, lots of people are kind of arguing at the fact that, you know, one of her best supports at the moment is Chacona, who was on the previous banner, which obviously is quite a like niche character. You know, Chacona is probably one of the best ones, and then whenever it comes to like secondary options, there's not very many people that, you know, kind of keep up to her. So that's what people are arguing, that maybe she shouldn't be T0. But in terms of damage, if you do have Chacona, she does an absolute, you know, crap ton of damage. Is crazy. So I think she is a very, very good character. I tried her out in the tier way a little bit. Obviously, she isn't fully built. I mean, I've got all of her stuff to level 90. I mean, the artifacts I need to work on a little bit because I had terrible luck. I spent like 10 crystal solvent and didn't get a single piece on this set, which was kind of crazy. And then also I need to upgrade my skills a little bit more, but she was hitting some pretty decent numbers, at least in the kind of like 70,000 kind of area, maybe a little bit more depending on buffs and things like that. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's looking like version 2.4 is a big success. People have been enjoying it. I mean, obviously, if you guys saw my last video, I talked about Nicholas Light and the fact that, you know, obviously he had to leave Genshin Impact due to the fact that he just did not like it at all and preferred Wuthering Waves much more. Well, it seems that he played it and also really enjoyed it as well. And, you know, I saw Tectone playing it. I saw Captain Cabinets playing it. I saw, you know, so many other people playing it, and they seem to enjoy it as well. And yeah, I mean, bro, it's just been a good update that has really kind of enforced the kind of community, which I think is just what it needed. But obviously, we still got the other part of the story still to come in a couple weeks' time, which I think is actually a really smart move from Kura Games, due to the fact of like this will kind of bring up the hype again, you know, because Kura Games sometimes has this problem where they release a banger update like this, but then also we don't hear from them for a little while, and then there's kind of nothing to do. But it seems like adding the story halfway through might actually provide a little bit of a boost. Obviously, as I said, there are some people that weren't very happy with that decision, but honestly, it will bring up a lot more discussion, and, you know, people will talk about Wuthering Waves a little bit more, you know, due to the fact of there being a second part, which I am very, very excited for. And honestly, yeah, I can't wait to see what that part can bring, because they did set it up very, very well. But yeah, I mean, that's essentially my whole review of version 2.4. I mean, the events have been the events. Oh, and also, sorry, I completely forgot. We mustn't forget the skins. The skins are absolutely incredible. Of course, I got both of them. They look absolutely insane. Carlotta's one looks amazing. Obviously, being a Carlotta, enjoying myself a Carlotta main, I had to get that one. And then also, we had to get Changli for the culture as well. Bro, these look absolutely incredible. Obviously, you know, some people are arguing over the price a little bit, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I think they were both amazing, and yeah, I feel like, you know, they can keep cooking, they can keep doing more, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the kind of, you know, update has to bring, and what some future updates in Septimont have to, you know, bring in the future. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about, you know, Wuthering Waves version 2.4, because I'm very interested. Obviously, maybe you had a very different experience to me. Maybe you lost a couple of 50-50s or something. By the way, I won mine. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code KAZA, get 10% off, and whoa, we're glitching a bit. Don't forget to get, yeah, anyway, use code KAZA, get 10% off, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.